हेलो एवरीवन, राधे राधे ऑल ऑफ यू. वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल शिक्षक जंक्शन. क्योंकि आप नहीं तो कब, एंड अगेन वी विल बी studying with this digitized notes because some more interesting lectures along with the pictures are yet to be taught to you. Okay, तो सबसे पहले जो भी हमने लास्ट क्लास में डिस्कस किया, that all forms the basis of our sexual reproduction, and this is yet another important terminology which you should know before actually we study the reproduction in case of the humans. ठीक है, तो देखो अब क्या होगा, इस प्यूबर्टी को अगर हमें दूसरा नाम भी देना हो तो इट इज नोन एज द एज ऑफ एडोलेसेंस. आई नो राइटिंग थोड़ी बुरी आ रही है, बट यस आई विल मैनेज समहाउ. ठीक है, तो इट इज द एज ऑफ द एडोलेसेंस दैट इज देयर. अब इस एडोलेसेंस की एज में क्या होगा, what happens during this particular time is it is that age where the gametes are going to be produced within the body of the person, and along with these gametes what we have actually, we have the hormones also that usually are released from these particular cells, and these cells are the gametes. So this is the age at which the gametes start releasing the hormones, or the gametes are getting released along with the hormones from the reproductive organs within the body. Now there is a certain difference between the age of this puberty in case of males as in females. Say in case of males the age of puberty is attained a little late as compared to the females. In males it is usually attained at the age of 13 to 14 years, whereas in case of females it usually happens at the age of 10 to 12 years. Okay, minute difference is there in case of males and females during which they attain this puberty age. Now on attaining the puberty, what happens is the male gonads or the male reproductive structures, what they produces, that is the testis. We will study this particular structure in detail. The testis starts producing these sperms, that is the male gamete, and in case of females when they attain the puberty, the ovaries, that is the primary reproductive structure. In case of ovaries it starts producing ovum or the egg. ठीक है, this is the what you say the gamete that is getting produced by the male or the female reproductive organs. अब इन gametes के अलावा ये gonads hormones भी produce करते हैं, and those particular hormones are specialized because they help in assisting the reproductive structures or reproduction process. And what these hormones are in case of males, because the reproductive structure is the testis, so the hormone also goes the same way. This testis produces testosterone. Easy to remember, testis से आएगा testosterone. और ये जो ovaries हैं they produces two hormones. What these hormones are, they are the estrogen and progesterone. These are the two hormones that get produced from the ovaries when the females attain the age of the puberty. These two hormones play an important role during the reproduction process. ठीक है, ये तो हो गई इसकी बात कि क्या प्रोड्यूस करना स्टार्ट करते हैं और कौन से हॉर्मोन्स हैं जो उन दोनों गोनाड्स से रिलीज होते हैं या सिंथेसाइज होते हैं. अब इसके अलावा देयर आर सर्टेन चेंजेस दैट एक्चुअली कम विद दिस रिप्रोडक्शन और दैट यूजुअली कम एट द एज ऑफ दिस व्हाट यू से प्यूबर्टी और एडोलेसेंस एज. और वो वाले चेंजेस क्या हैं, वो वाले चेंजेस हैं इन द अपीयरेंस ऑफ द सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर्स यू कैन से, और सर्टेन मॉर्फोलॉजिकल अपीयरेंसेस दैट डिफर्स इन केस ऑफ बोथ मेल एंड फीमेल. सबसे पहले अगर हम मेल्स की बात करें तो यू हैव द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ हेयर ऑन द बॉडी पार्ट्स, like especially beards and mustaches appear when the males attain the age of the puberty. The body becomes more muscular. ठीक है, उसके बाद broadening of chest and shoulders takes place. देखो आधी चीज़ें, आधी बातें मैं लिख रही हूँ, आधी नहीं लिख रही हूँ। चलो ये ब्रॉडनिंग भी लिख देती हूँ यहाँ पर। वैसे स्किप नहीं करनी है आपको वीडियोस, अदरवाइज यू विल मिस आउट लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, ठीक है। इसके अलावा द मेल्स डेवलप द डीप वॉइस व्हेन दे अटेन द एज ऑफ प्यूबर्टी। द वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन हैपन्स ड्यूरिंग द एज ऑफ द प्यूबर्टी। सो दीज आर सर्टेन चेंजेस विच हैपन्स इन केस ऑफ द मेल्स, एंड इन केस ऑफ फीमेल्स some similar changes as well as some different changes takes place. And what are they? जो सबसे पहला है वो तो सेम ही है, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ हेयर ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ द बॉडी। सो हेयर आउटग्रोथ होगा। उसके बाद द वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन हैपन्स बट नॉट टू दैट एक्सटेंट एज इट इज़ वेरी विजिबल इन केस ऑफ मेल्स। उसके बाद आएगा इसमें डेवलपमेंट एंड एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ द मेमोरी ग्लैंड्स। So this is a change that takes place during the female's development and enlargement of what? Of the mammary glands. Okay. Next change, fat deposition in certain body parts like thighs. This also occurs in the females. Next, sexual cycle that is termed by a name menstruation also. Menstruation also starts during this, and this particular stage marks the starting of the reproductive cycle in case of females. So that is how the certain changes goes on in the puberty in both males and females, right, along with the production of the gametes and the hormones that we have already discussed. Now we are at that stage कि we should discuss the male reproductive system, as I have told you कि it will be important. So we are going to discuss that particular thing in detail. Just wait for a minute. I'll just make certain changes so that you may know what it is. Yes, now we are going to study. देखो डिजिटाइज फोन में बहुत सारी चीज़ें देखनी पड़ती हैं जो बोर्ड पर यूजुअली ईजी लगती हैं, बट येस इट बिकम समवॉट ट्रिकी व्हेन यू कम टू दिस मोड। चलो अब देखो मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में पूरा का पूरा डायग्राम से ही एक्सप्लेन करने वाली हूँ मैं, नो एक्स्ट्रा राइटिंग। सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हाइल वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी दिस। ओके, सो मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम. This, the figure that you are seeing on your slide, is the basic structure of the male reproductive system along with its certain organs. So the male reproductive system consists of organs like testis. It is the primary reproductive organ in case of males. Next, what it comes is vas deferens, structure that is missing here out. I am writing it out. Okay, this particular structure that is visible here is the epididymis part. ओके, आई थिंक कि यहाँ पर ही लिख देना चाहिए मेरे को. इट इज़ दी एपी, ओके यहाँ पर भी नहीं चल रहा, हाँ यहाँ पर चल रहा है. देखो इट इज़ दी एपिडिडाइमिस. अभी एक्सप्लेन करूँगी मैं कि कैसे होता है, ठीक है. एपिडिडाइमिस इज थिंग. नेक्स्ट इट इज़ दिस vast difference that is there visualizing in the figure. Okay, just wait for a minute, I'll just make it clear कि चल क्यों नहीं रहा. ठीक है, चलो अब देखो, अब शायद होगा. ठीक, टेस्टिस, उसके बाद आएगा ये वास्ट एपिडिडाइमिस. देन इट कम्स व्हाट इट इज दिस वास्ट डिफरेंस. ओके, नेक्स्ट the connecting structure with this vast difference is this ureter. Ureter is not a part of the reproductive system, but yes, it is involved, so that is why it is known, this male reproductive system is the genitourinary system. ठीक है. Now we have certain glands that are included within this. It is the seminal vesicle and the prostate gland that are included within this particular system. This bladder is a part of the urinary system that is involved. Next organ is this penis, and urethra is the ultimate outlet. Now what happens, what is the process during which this or how this male reproductive system works? Here pouch like structure is getting into the figure is the specialized structure that is known as the scrotum, into which the testis is located. First of all, we will study this testis. Testis is the oval shaped structure that is present in the paired form, and it is located outside the abdominal cavity of the males. located in the specialized pouch that I have already told you. It is known as this scrotum. ठीक, now there is a very important point why these testes are located within this scrotum or pouch like structure outside the abdominal cavity. This is because the male gametes or the sperms require a temperature of 3 degrees Celsius less than that of the normal body temperature. Okay, let me write it here itself. The sperms that are ultimately the male gametes require 3 degrees Celsius lower the temperature as compared to the body for the normal functioning. So it will not be possible if they are located inside the body. It is possible because if they are located outside the body, that too in a specialized pouch that is known as this scrotum. That is why the testes are located within the scrotum. So इस पॉइंट से आपको एक और पॉइंट भी क्लियर हो गया होगा कि दिस टेस्टिस इज एक्चुअली व्हाट, दिस इज द primary reproductive organ of the male which leads to the production of sperms. That is why they are located outside the abdominal cavity. ठीक है, along with this sperm, this testis also produces a hormone known as testosterone which we have discussed few minutes back. ठीक है, अब the sperms that are formed in the testes are then further moved into the coiled structure that is known as epididymis, what I have already explained you from the figure. In the figure it is not written what actually epididymis is. Just see the cursor where I am just pointing it out. This particular white portion that you are seeing in the figure is the epididymis part. ठीक है, epididymis में आया. अब epididymis it stores the sperms temporarily. It is the temporary storage structure or storage organ for the sperms. After epididymis or sperms move from epididymis into another tube like structure which is known as the vas deferens. This vas deferens is also known as the sperm duct. Why? Because it carries the sperms from the testis, from where it is manufactured, to the outside of the body through yet another structure that will come into the picture within this particular thing. ठीक है, तो यहाँ तक हुआ हमारा ये वास डिफरेंस जहाँ पर ये कैरी करेगा स्पर्म को. दैट इज वाई इट हैज बीन टर्म्ड एज द स्पर्म डक्ट. Now what happens is this vas deferens joins another tube like structure that you can see from the figure. It joins this ureter. ठीक है, तो vas deferens क्या करेगा, अब on the way to its path it leads to the outside of the body and it joins another tube that is the ureter, that is the part of the excretory system of the body. ठीक है, तो this joins the ureter that is coming out from this bladder portion. ठीक है, now during this passageway of the vas deferens and in the path where it joins the ureter, you have two more glands coming into the picture which secrete their secretions or which pour their secretions into the ट्यूब. क्या हुआ, वास डिफरेंस से हमारे जो मेल गैमेट हैं वो ट्रांसफर हो रहे हैं, लेकिन बीच में वी हैव टू मोर ग्लैंड्स. व्हाट आर दोज ग्लैंड्स? यू हैव द सेमिनल वेसिकल, right, and you have this prostate gland that comes into the midway and they pour their secretion into these tubes. Either you can say it is the vas deferens or now it is the ureter tube that is coming into the picture. ठीक है, तो दो जो ग्लैंड्स हैं हमारे सेमिनल वेसिकल और प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड, इन दोनों ने अपने सीक्रीशंस को इस ट्यूब में पोर किया और उनके सीक्रीशन को वी टर्म इट एज द सीमेन. ठीक है, this secretion, the secretions that are poured by these two glands are important because they provide the nutrition to the sperms as well as they facilitate the motility of the sperms. Okay, let me write it here itself. ठीक है, अब मैं यहाँ पर इसको हटा रही हूँ so that you can understand what it is. This layer I am going to rub it out and I am going to write it here itself. ठीक है। अब देखो क्या देखा था हमने, ये जो सीमेन है हमारा, दिस सीमेन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, वाई, बिकॉज इट प्रोवाइड्स द न्यूट्रिशन and it also helps in the sperm motility, and sperm motility is important because it has to reach the female gamete for the fertilization process. So this semen now is added, or is the semen is led into the urethra or the ureter. Now ultimately it leads to the urethra, which forms the opening of this, or which forms the opening of this particular semen, or what you have termed it as the sperms, along with the semen outside the body through the structure that is known as the penis. Okay, this penis now carries the sperms to the female gamete, which, or female body, which ultimately leads to the process of the fertilization. So this is how the male reproduction system goes on. मैं एक बार फिर से रिपीट कर देती हूँ कि कैसे कैसे होता है हमारा मेल रिप्रोडक्शन सिस्टम का फंक्शनिंग. यू हैव द टेस्टिस, ये एक फ्लो चार्ट बना देती हूँ मैं यहीं पर, सो दैट यू जस्ट हैव अ ट्रैक ऑफ हाउ द मूवमेंट गोज ऑन. ठीक है, चलो देखो एक बार, ट्रैक, पाथवे, कुछ भी बोल सकते हो. तो the testis are the male primary reproductive structures that produces these sperms as well as produces the hormone. ठीक है, हार्मोन क्या है हमारा, टेस्टोस्टेरोन. ठीक, आफ्टर द sperms are made into the testis, they are moved into the coiled structure that is known as epididymis. From the epididymis it moves to the vas deferens, which is known as the sperm duct. This vas deferens carries the sperms to yet another tube which is joined with this vas deferens, is known as the ureter. This ureter is a part of the same excretory system that we have already studied in our previous lecture. Now during this pathway or during this movement, you have two more glands that come into the picture. What are they? They are the seminal vesicle and you have the prostate gland. ठीक है, now the secretions of these two glands are poured into this tube like structures and the secretion is known as semen. The semen is important because it provides the nutrition as well as motility to the sperms, which is required for the movement and transfer of this male gametes to the female gamete. Ultimately from the ureter it arises the urethra, जो हमने excretory system में भी पढ़ा है. This urethra is the common passageway for the reproductive structure, or you can say the sperms as well as the urine that is formed during the excretory system. So ultimately this urethra joins the penis and it leads to the ejaculation of the sperms outside the body, and this male sperms get into the female body during the copulation process, which ultimately leads to the fertilization part. So this is all about the male reproductive system that you have to remember in डिटेल. आई होप कि सब कुछ क्लियर हो गया होगा, और अगर क्लियर नहीं हुआ है तो येस, आई एम देयर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. जस्ट आस्क मी योर डाउट्स देन एंड देयर इटसेल्फ. नो नीड टू वेट फॉर the separate thing to come up and then you will solve your queries. Okay, so next lecture में we are going to discuss female reproductive system as well as some more important things, and finally उसके बाद शायद एक और लेक्चर और लगेगा, एंड देन वी आर कमिंग टू एंड ऑफ दिस चैप्टर. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम. ठीक है, चलो वी विल मीट इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. टिल देन टेक केयर, हैव अ गुड डे ऑल ऑफ यू. राधे राधे.